Welcome, everyone, back to Olympus Rising, a sci-fi RPG that is run by yours truly, Mankey Games, aka Jordan. And it's been about a week exactly since we were here the last time, because we play every week. It's fantastic. What I was talking about before the music ended, though, let me find her name. U.S. Women's Road Bike. I was watching her while she was, So Mara Abbott, Mara-Abbott, while she was, unfortunately, she was leading by about 30 seconds with about 8 kilometers to go, and the 3 people that were behind her ended up passing her, and she lost a medal. It was really heartbreaking. But that's it. That's pretty much it. We're gonna unmute here, and we're gonna see what the crew's talking about and see how their weeks have been.
Be honest, you enjoy this predicament.
Yeah, where's the fun in that? Come on.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't use the one benefit of being a warrior.
Yeah, pretty much.
So the funniest part about every stream that I ever do is just randomly unmuting my microphone and the sound while live, just to see what I pop into every week. It's actually fantastic.
So where'd you pop in on this time?
When Will said something about not being able to do anything. But I was just telling everybody else, meaning the whole one other person that was watching, about. Did you guys hear about Mara Abbott? She's the U.S. Women's road course cyclist.
No.
She was leading by almost 40 seconds with 8 kilometers to go, and she ended up getting overtaken in the last 150 meters and lost a medal because she went from first to fourth.
Ugh.
Wow.
She was literally ahead of every single other competitor by 30 seconds. Which
she
that's
just
insane.
totally...
Which in a race, she was completely spent.
Just gassed.
Yeah.
Wow.
She turned on the afterburners about 150 meters too soon. About 150 meters too soon, she turned on the afterburners. I was watching it at lunch. It was heartbreaking to watch. Because you just saw it in her face when the 3 of them passed her.
She knew I can't even do anything about this right now.
Yeah. Anyone who's ever competed in anything like that, you know the look and the feeling of I can't. There's nothing I can do to catch them at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. But that's it. That's all I've been doing.
So,
how's everybody else been?
Not bad.
That's good.
I've been complaining. Well, getting towels, and then my house smells like cotton candy.
Okay.
This is about how it was introduced to everyone else.
Feel as though
There's no more context to provide there.
Sure.
No,
sure.
That's it.
Okay. All right. I thought it was gonna be a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy reference, but I'm not sure where the cotton candy factors in. But that sounds great. That sounds good.
Yeah.
I went and had endless apps at Fridays for lunch as I watched the women's cycling race. It was pretty delicious. Will, how have you been?
Not bad. I literally just walked in the door from Daytona.
Perfect. It's good timing. Because, I would have killed you. That's good.
It's great because everyone else thinks you're kidding.
No, I'm actually serious. I actually, don't tell anybody, I actually didn't go to work today. Obviously, because I mentioned...
I would say you were just eating endless apps at Fridays for lunch.
I had a feeling.
Fridays. Yeah. I took a personal day because I didn't feel like going into work.
That sounds nice.
Be perfectly honest with you. It's cool. That's the advantages of working at a big company like that, where I can just be like, I got the points and the hours. Fuck it.
Yeah, I can't do that.
Right. Because you have responsibilities and shit.
Because then there's a shift open and not enough time to fill it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is kind of nice. Let me tell you.
Which is the reason I have to go to work at 3 a.m. tonight.
But Will, better see you tomorrow morning, sir. right? You're
Why?
totally going to show up to work. Because you're a good employee.
Okay, you don't have to lie about me to the internet, right?
Don't worry, nobody watches this anyway. Megan, it's been 2 days. How have you been?
Fine.
I believe there's a story that you and your brother were going to tell us.
Oh yeah,
About
Matt.
pertaining to what?
Matt, about the Witch Museum, the
Yes.
amazingness of the Witch Museum.
Oh, yeah. We before I left, we decided to go on the way from our folks' place up in Maine down home. We decided to stop at Salem and went to the kitschiest but somehow most amazing
Yep.
museum ever. And it was like, do you know the Futurama episode where they go to the moon and like there's all the animatronics and shit?
Yes.
The sailors on the moon. Da, 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 da. Yeah. I was getting that vibe the entire time, except it was like it was about the witchcraft trials, and there was like
That's weird.
it's difficult to even describe. The highlights of it, however, were the like 10-foot tall red like goat legs and spear complete Satan.
I wanted a picture of
they
it so
had,
bad. I couldn't take it.
And also a diorama, like not a diorama, a scene made with wax sculpted people of a presumed witch being crushed to death one stone at a time, trying to be coerced into admitting his affiliation with the dark arts.
Complete with a moaning soundtrack in the
Oh, yeah.
background.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
awesome.
Mhm.
That
So
sounds
it didn't
good.
Good
sound like that
Lord.
exactly.
Wow.
It was $11 well spent. It was bizarre, but
Do you know what that sounds like? That sounds like authenticity right there.
yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like that's as close to the truth as I'm liable to get.
Good Lord.
Interesting.
Have you ever played, what's the name of the game? Megan, help me out here. What's the name of the game that I've been playing on Mostly Walking?
Oh God. Crap. It's a guy's name. I don't
John,
know.
Jim,
It's a
James?
horrible name. It's a horrible
No,
game whenever
no,
it is
no,
that.
no.
Bill.
Y'all are not giving me much to go off of.
Yeah.
Just wait for it.
Hold on, I'll find it.
Just go to
Mostly
YouTube quick.
Walking. Not King's Quest. What's the name of it? Anyway, it's a game that's set in New Orleans, and they do like the whole. It's all like kind of focused around these murders that had voodoo as their cause of death, right? Like it's all focused around like the weird New Orleans voodoo stuff. But is it
like a
very
point and click?
cheesy. Yeah,
Gabriel
it's an adventure
Knight.
game.
Gabriel Knight.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yep, there you go. Gabriel Knight is the name of the game. It's one of the best ones I've ever seen him play on that show. It's Gabriel Knight remastered. Oh boy, yeah, it's a good one. I want to send him a request to play Phantasmagoria because I think that they would be great at playing Phantasmagoria. If you don't know what Phantasmagoria is, it's a live-action, like stop-motion video game, where you have your character, you're a woman, and you go around, and the different scenes are like acted out that she would actually do. Obviously, all done like with props and then plastered into a game world. But it's pretty fantastically bad. But yeah.
What era is this from? Are we talking like DOS
Phantasmagoria.
or
Let me see if I can find a Phantasmagoria. There it is. It's really easy.
90s game.
Phantasmagoria was made by Sierra Online, just to give you an example of how old it may be. It was released in 1995. for MS-DOS and Microsoft Windows. And the
Wow.
Sega Saturn in 1997. It's a point-and-click adventure game. And, let's see. There was some fucking ridiculous stat. The script is 550 pages long, which is about 4 times the size of an average Hollywood screenplay. Yeah. So it's absolutely massive.
All gold, I'm sure.
Yeah, so like the other thing was, yeah, it cost $4.5 million to make.
Wow.
That's ridiculous even by today's game standards. Which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But it's because they had to pay like an entire film crew, right, to do the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a reason why we don't get games like that anymore.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, but anyway. Other than Salem, how is the rest of your week been, Matt and Megan?
Pretty good.
It's good.
I mean, yeah, it was good to get out of just get out of lab, totally shut off for a while,
But
a
now
good
you're-
while actually.
Now you're
Yeah.
back, right? You're back at home?
I am. It's back to it tomorrow morning, but it'll be good. Got to get in some time on the coast, so I got to save it up to go back to being landlocked
Yeah.
in the middle of nowhere.
Right. Yeah, I recently received my vacation, and I'm sorely tempted just to take 2 flat weeks at a time. I've never actually done that since during my career at where I work, and that's kind of exciting to me. I usually take like 1 week, like in November, and then 1 week like later on in the year. But I'm thinking I'm just gonna take 2 weeks straight,
Yeah,
probably
I
right
mean-
after HHN.
That sounds
traveling
smart.
is always such a bitch. It's just worth it to take off a bigger chunk of time and not worry about,
Yeah, for sure.
losing a quarter of
Oh.
your vacation just
So-
like on.
Here's the other really important thing. So first of all, for those of you that don't know, I'm kind of an animal lover. But were you aware that it was possible to have a experience at a zoo where you get to go and feed and pet certain animals that exist within the zoo?
Yes.
Okay. Did you also know that most of the time these include red pandas?
I have seen that.
Okay. I was unaware of this previously, and I'm currently planning a trip to the Good Zoo at Ogle Bay, which is located in West Virginia. I will be going there as soon as possible, because for $90 I can spend 45 minutes with a group of red pandas. And that
Nice.
seems
Oh my
amazing.
god, that's so cute.
I know.
I'd pay $1,000.
It's incredible. You can actually spend, I think it's like $250, and get an hour and a half of like 4 different animals. You just go from like
Nice.
enclosure to enclosure.
Can one of those be Siberian tigers?
No, but they do have the serval kittens that you can do.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there's serval kittens, lemurs, river otters, which I'm really excited about. For those of you who've never seen a river otter.
Otters.
Okay, so first of all, I don't know if you guys have ever seen a river otter before. Those things are massive. Like,
They are quite large.
they're like bigger than large dogs. Like, some of them. It's ridiculous. But I would love to go feed some river otters and have them swim all around me. That'd be amazing.
Sometimes they carry stones
Yes.
because they have favorite stones.
Yep. And then one of them will give one to me, and it'll be incredible.
Yeah, and you'll have to keep it forever.
I would keep it forever. That's it. That's all I've been doing.
Nice.
So let's talk about what's been going on in on the planet Furial in sector in system 0506, the Vandita system.
Before we do that, should we talk about where I'm going to put my skill points?
Yes, yeah. That's a good point. So, for anyone who's unaware of what how it typically goes, how I start when people level up in games, at the beginning of the session, we talk about exactly what you got and why you're choosing it, and maybe a little background, or maybe like how you were justifying that, or any kind of cool little like point that you want to give about it, or just say, hey, I'm putting a point in this. So leveling up in Stars Without Number, I'm sure that all of you have figured it out, but this is for the sake of everyone else. Stars Without Number, typically experts receive 3 points, and psychics and warriors receive 2 points in order to level up their skills. I've edited that in order to make it so that it is +1 for every class. So experts receive 4 points, warriors and psychics receive 3 points to upgrade their skills. So, absolutely, Devin, if you know what you're going to do and you want to start, let's go ahead and do it. And I assume this 2d8 roll is your health, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
yeah.
my health is higher than that right now, so I'm not going to be taking that one.
Okay. You also get to add your con bonus if you don't have one already. So it would be plus. Do you have a +1 in Constitution?
Actually, I take back everything I just said, because it appears that I haven't leveled up yet.
Oh, are you not quite there yet?
Yes.
Okay.
I thought this pushed me over the edge, but it did not.
Yeah. As a warrior, you have to get to 2,000. And as
Yeah.
experts get to go a little bit quicker. That's one of their advantages of being an expert.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I
It's
think
different from a lot of different systems.
Did you complete any goals last session that
Right.
would push you over?
So yeah, so let's
That's
talk
what
about
I'm
that.
looking at now.
Did you complete any goals that will get you over the hump? Because I think we have one that's going to do that at the very least.
I'm thinking. Well, I'm not. My computer is.
Well, I don't believe that you have actually completed either of these 3
Yeah,
goals.
I don't think so either.
Okay. So we'll probably have to wait an additional session for you to
Yeah.
level up, which isn't really that big a deal. You know, we're going to be playing forever, so it's fine. Cool. So Boomer, did you receive a level being an expert and having a little bit more?
I don't. But actually, I want to go ahead and cash in one of my goals, and I think that will tip me over.
Okay.
The first goal.
So the first goal, the map the Shianabi infrastructure. Yes, I believe you have completed that. You can definitely receive an additional 250 experience for that. No problem. No problem.
Just 250.
Oh, well, you had it for 2 sessions additional, so go ahead and give yourself 300. I'll give you an extra 50 on that for having it for a couple extra sessions. You miss trying to strike the one that was not quite dead yet, Oscar.
Oh, I'm actually just trying to figure out how to edit a macro here. Also, I rolled that with AC 0, so I'm still pretty happy about that.
Okay.
Which should put you over the edge, correct?
Nope.
You only
Wait,
you
is
have
it just
you have
me then?
less than 100 to the next level, Boomer. How does
Yeah,
200? How does 300?
that number you see right now is plus the 300 I've already.
Oh, well then you're not quite there yet, sir. Should complete more goals. Make easier attainable goals. Okay, go. Did you level up?
I am 12 away, and I think that I made my second goal, so I went ahead and did it anyway.
Okay. I'm having... Why is my computer freaking out currently? Y'all can still hear me, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
I attempted to open up Gogo's character sheet, and my computer decided... Oh, I think it was trying to load that massive picture that was on Gogo's profile. As soon as that loaded, everything went fine. Okay. So, keep the nice hotel folk safe from the monsters. #werewolves. Yeah, no, totally. You've successfully defended them from the monsters. You can receive a 250 experience bump for that.
Awesome. Okay, so then yeah, I level.
Which does get you to level 2. Okay, so do me a favor, go ahead and roll 2d6, and we'll see if your health increases. Plus any con bonuses you have, obviously. Which I don't think you have a con bonus, do you? It's just 0?
No, I know.
Okay, yeah, so just roll 2d6. And we'll see how your health goes up. 7. That's more than you previously had, correct?
By 1. Yeah.
Cool, awesome. So you go from 6 to 7 health. Excellent.
Yay.
Hey, one HP can be the difference between.
That is life or death, man.
Yeah, can really be the difference between good or a bad thing. Okay, cool. Excellent. And Oscar, are you there yet? You are, I believe. 2035?
Yep.
Cool. So for your... First of all, did you complete any goals?
I believe I will shortly, but
Sure.
last session I did not.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, that's fine. We'll be sure to get that experience and
Right.
get it locked away. I don't think it'll get you to level 3, so it won't really matter a whole lot. You've already made your level, which is the most
Right.
important thing. So what did you do with your 3 skill points?
Straight into combat primitive, which we have been using as
Correct.
Kenjutsu.
Right, as the martial
So-
arts. Yep, absolutely. So that brings you up to a combat primitive of 2, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Which I will remind everyone that there are skill caps. Based on your level, there is only a certain level you can attain until you reach like the next tier of play, and those are located on. Let me find them real quick. They're on a page here. Scrolling. They are on page number 64 in the core rulebook. So for a skill level 2, actually, I will let you know, Oscar, you cannot attain skill level 2 yet. You must be a minimum character level of 3. However, luckily, in this game, you can just hold on to those skill points and wait till level 3 in order to upgrade that skill. But the chart is on page 64. In order to obtain skill level 2, you must be at least minimum character level of 3.
Well,
And if it is a non-class skill, obviously you have to spend 4 points.
no. For level 2, it would be 3.
Not for a non-class skill. For a
Isn't that other
non-class
level
skill.
+2?
Oh, right. Okay, I was thinking of
Yeah, you were
Okay.
thinking if it was a class skill, you would be able to spend 3 and totally get it. Yes, absolutely. But in order to get a non-class skill, which is one that is not listed under your class as one of your class skills, it requires an additional point.
Sure. Yeah,
Additional
you know
skill
what?
point.
I just totally blanked on this. I had actually
okay.
worked out something different. I believe what I decided I was going to do is take so I'm actually going to take 1 in exosuit training,
Right.
and then hang on to the other points.
Cool.
That's what I was going to do.
That is totally within your ability. So you go
Cool.
from a 0 to a 1 in exosuit, correct?
Nope.
Or
I had
a
it
-1 to a 0.
correct.
Okay.
So I'm spending 2 points to bring it from a -1 to a 0,
Yep.
since it's not a class skill.
Correct.
And I'm hanging on to those other points.
To that
Or
one
that
other
other
point. Right.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because then when you obtain level 3, you'll have 4, and then you could totally bring that skill
Correct.
up to 2. And this is exactly why we do these things at the beginning of the session,
Yeah.
so that it's not
No.
confusing when we get to it.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel sort of silly. I had just worked that out so
It's
long
fine.
ago that I was like, hey, I have 3, Okay, no,
Totally
that's
cool.
good for me then.
Yeah, perfect. So it all works out in the end. Gogo, I apologize. I did not ask. What are you doing with your 4 points because you are an expert? What are you doing with them?
Getting a 1 or a +1 in tech medical.
Okay, so
More
going
useful.
from a 0 to a 1?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Excellent. And that, for you, that is a class skill, correct? So it requires 2 points. So are you hanging on to your other 2 points?
No, I put the other points in. Wait, I can't remember what vehicle I did. Oh, land. That's what it was.
From a 0 to a 1? Or a negative
Oh,
1
it should
to
be a
0?
1, shouldn't it be? 0 to... No. It was a 0. It was at a -1.
It was at a
So-
negative 1. So you still have, and that's a class skill as well. So you still technically have 1 point left.
So could I make that a 1?
No,
Or
it
do I need
requires
2
2
points
points.
for that?
Yeah. You can hold
Okay,
on to that point,
then
or
I-
you can spend it in something else.
Okay. I'll probably hold on to it for now.
Okay. Yeah. Then just make sure in the bottom of your character sheet, in the bottom of the skills, that's unskill or unassigned
Yep,
skill
got
points.
it.
Make sure you get a 1 in there. And this is a good chance for me to explain to the group of you as well. Is if there is a moment in time throughout the game where you have a bunch of unskilled skill points, and you guys run into a situation where it's like, oh crap, we need this skill, you can totally say to me, hey, I want to spend my points on this skill and get it. Like I trained this at a kind of Deus Ex Machina say, hey, I totally trained, that that language skill, so I can totally speak this. It's totally cool. Once you do it, though, that's permanent, right? It's not like temporary. You don't get to just willy-nilly move skill points around as you will. But yeah, no, totally. So if you're ever concerned about putting skill points into something that may not be useful, hold on to them and see if we run into that situation. And then if not, you can put them in something else without too much detriment. But I will let you know that I am a big proponent of utilizing all of the skills available. So it would not be a bad idea, even if you're looking for something a little more obscure, just to know that I will eventually, at some point, get around to putting you guys in a situation that requires one of those more obscure skills. Cool. Awesome.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Everybody clear on that?
So
Yes.
I roll 2d4 plus 1.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. Actually, so you have a +1 in Constitution, correct?
Yep.
So you actually roll 2d4 plus 2 because you get a +1 con bonus for each level, right?
Oh shit! I didn't
Yeah.
realize that actually.
Yeah. So you get to roll
Excellent.
2d4 plus 2.
That's way better than I thought it was. I never had a Constitution bonus in the last game. So.
Right. Yeah. It's really good. It adds up over time for sure.
Does Go-Go get that
Balls.
as well?
I don't
Go-Go
have
does
a-
not have a con bonus.
Gotcha. Okay.
But it's not as bad as what my con is in the other game.
Right.
I don't know if you
Yeah,
did it.
Jesus. Oh, God. For those that don't know, her character in Siege has a -2 Constitution modifier.
Wow.
It's good times. It's good times.
It's pretty rough sometimes. So I believe that brings you up 1 health, correct?
That's correct. I had
Okay.
5 before.
Yeah, and to be fair, I kind of expected the healths not to go up a whole lot between level 1 and level 2 because I gave you guys maximum health at level 1. Normally you roll for it.
Yep.
But I wanted it to be a little less lethal. Level 3, I think, is where we'll start seeing the really significant jumps up in health and leaps up in health.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Then I think if anybody, barring any other questions about level ups or skills or goals, I think we can probably jump into the Night of the Living Werewolf Reign.
That may not be done yet.
That's the best. That's the best name I have for it currently.
I like it
Rolls
though.
right off the tongue.
Yeah, it rolls right off the tongue.
What session is this?
This
Is it
this will be
7?
session number 7. Yes.
Yeah. It's like the gang encounters some lycanthropes. or
Yeah.
something.
Right. Yeah. The gang. Yeah, encounters some lycanthropes. I like that one. That's good.
I like that the gang encounters lycanthrope-inducing rain.
Yeah, there you go. Sure. Yeah.
Potentially. We don't have a causal link yet, but we'll see.
Ah, true.
Or we won't. My vote is we won't, and we get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Right. So
Agreed.
I guess that's the best place to start, right? So I think that throughout the remainder of the night, I'm not going to make you guys roll for it or do anything. There are probably a few more encounters with some of the baddies, right? Like there's probably like a couple of stragglers or 1 or 2 times where you guys start tossing bodies out and you attract the attention of a couple more, and we probably get an image of Fortune, out a window with a sniper, like just picking them off one at a time, and then one jumps in through a window and Oscar hacks it in half, and Boomer hits something with his little baton thing, his telescoping pole, and just knocks it unconscious, and then stabs it with his mono knife, and Go-Go's sitting with her. You have a shotgun, right, Go-Go?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you're sitting with your shotgun, just like blast, and then you reload, and then you have a combat shotgun actually, so it's just like you're just taking them out. So there's
That sounded like a pretty sick necto beat right there.
yeah, exactly. There's just this moment of like of this montage of you guys taking out these things in addition to the ones you took out previously, and then eventually the clouds start to move by after maybe like 2 or 3 hours of this. And leaving the group of you probably fairly exhausted and fairly tired, and maybe a little achy from all the hacking and slashing, or your shoulder probably hurts from bracing the impact of the gun so many times. Your trigger finger may be a little bit singed from having to work with hot metal guns. If any of you have ever worked with weapons before, they get hot very fucking fast. Like after the second round, it's like they're unbearably hot to touch.
Don't lie to people.
I mean, it's pretty much like that. Let's be honest. But yeah, so you guys are essentially the clouds pass and the noises start to die down, and you guys have essentially finished and successfully warded off the evil that was the weird lycanthrope people. And probably for the first time, you get like a really good look at these things, and just to remind everyone, I'll show everyone what it looks like again, just because I'm. They're these guys.
Yeah.
Kind of like werewolfy, kind of crazy looking. They got those long claws, but utterly humanoid, right? Like very clearly a humanoid of some sort. So yeah, they're pretty nasty little buggers. But luckily, you guys are trained combat veterans. Well, most of you at least. And you guys were able to successfully defend against them. So the sun is, by the time the clouds pass, the sun is actually, it began around I think just before midday, like in the early afternoon. You guys had done the egg thing, and then you'd done the computer research thing, and then you packed everything up, and then you went down to basically leave. So it was like the late morning, early afternoon time. And now it's getting into, after a couple hours, it's like, if you've ever lived in a place where it thunderstorms like regularly in the evening time, it's like, or in the afternoon time, when it gets done, it seems like the sun is almost unbearably hot after that, just because it's heating up everything around you that was previously so cooled down, and it's a rapid change in temperature. But the sun's shining in through the windows, which some are now broken. There's still all that debris on the one staircase you guys threw down. There's small fires you can see, like, kind of burning throughout the city at this point. And I think eventually you hear, like, the announcement, and again, it's all in Cantonese. And Go-Go, you kind of pick up on it, right? Because you know most of it. Where they say, like, all's clear, report to, etc., for if you were caught out in the storm, etc., etc. The whole, like, the all clear call is going out. So when that happens, what do you guys do?
Actually, Jordan, I'm sorry to interrupt for a moment.
Yeah.
But I just want to share something with Oscar real quick.
Sure.
With the way that Fortune and Go-Go would have been focused during the battle, I think Oscar would have noticed something about Boomer, specifically, especially while he was fighting with the mono knife, that he didn't display any level of training while using it. Like, he obviously doesn't know knife combat, but something in the way that he was using it, it's almost like he was still familiar with using it in a fight. He's just not trained. And I think that's something you would have picked up on, especially during that fight and close quarter combat.
Yeah, you have
in addition
like
to the enthusiasm level, which he noted.
Yeah,
running from one side of the building to the other, trying to stab things.
If there were an inspiration-like system in this game, Boomer would definitely have received some for enthusiasm.
Sure.
Anyway.
So Oscar notices that. Just to be clear, it wasn't like military training in close quarters, but you were relatively confident with your ability to use your little mono knife.
Yeah.
Is that the gist of what you're...
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Would it be comparable, let's say, to like a street thug using a knife versus like a trained soldier? Like, street thugs totally know how to use knives. Like, they've been in knife fights before, right? But it's a little bit different than the precision and tactical use of a knife by like a trained soldier. Would that be a good comparison?
I feel like that'd be a good comparison.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because when I think of Boomer, I think of street.
You're self-taught. How about that? That seems appropriate. Or street taught, however you wanna say it.
Sure. So maybe there's like, maybe once things settle down, Oscar, makes some sort of comment like, your technique is unorthodox. Where did you learn to fight?
Technique? What are you talking about? Just put the sharp end in the other guy. There's no technique to it. I mean, I don't fight like you fight. You fight like a soldier professionally. When you approach him about it, he's very skittish. Like no. What I do isn't fight. This isn't a thing.
Okay, all right, cool. So yeah, I think Oscar just kind of, he'd let that be. He wouldn't pursue that any further. So he'd probably say like, well, the enthusiasm at least, if I question your decision with the shopping cart, but good job with the one that got on you.
And kind of with that, Boomer will give you a weary smile that seemed to be like washing his hands.
Yeah, so it's probably like as everything settles down and like the all clear is called, it's probably a good time to like check out the damage actually done, right? Because in the heat of combat, it's probably not like prudent to be like trying to figure out who's hurt and who's not, right? Like you guys are too busy firing shots and defending yourselves. But now that like there's light out and like I have a moment to breathe, we take an account of, and mechanically too, because I want to know kind of where everybody's at and get like a good description of like how injured is the party. Like you guys can totally embellish however much or however little has occurred, but based on like what you think would have happened throughout the night, like what's everybody look like? Like, so Go-Go, like were you hit at all, or did you just happen to stay behind everyone else and just take a bunch of shots?
Oh, Go-Go's untouched.
Sure, yeah.
She might have a few spatters of blood, but
sure,
probably
yeah.
it.
Some yeah, cool.
I think Oscar probably looks like somebody threw a trash barrel full of hamburger on him.
Yeah.
But he's uninjured.
There's just like, a bunch of viscera.
He's probably got like intestines hanging off his shoulders. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, he's probably trying to shake off a bit of the gore that he collected, but I don't think anything would have passed through the armor.
So yeah, so mechanically, because I think you actually do have like a couple of hit points down.
I didn't take a scratch.
Oh, you increase your maximum. I got it. I saw your health bar a little bit lower.
Yeah.
No, so you increase your maximum.
Oscar came out without a scratch.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a good accurate description. What about Boomer? I think Boomer did get hit once at least.
Oh yeah, right? Boomer got hit. To everyone who actually looks him over, he would have a pretty good gash that goes along his shoulder and towards his back. But he would wave off anyone's attempt to really kind of tend to it.
Yeah,
he kind of packs it and wraps it himself.
It's a surface wound.
Especially, with someone as spry as Boomer, I mean, it has the potential of being something more serious, but he won't let anyone look at it.
Cool. And Fortune, what about you?
I got bit.
You did, yeah. You got bit like around the shoulder area, right?
Yeah, right on the shoulder.
Yeah, leaped on you and just clamped down and pierced through your... So I think that like from the outside, like through your armor and through like your clothing, it probably doesn't look like much. Maybe there's some blood stains kind of like leaking through the clothing. But if you're in a moment where like you take it off, you see like clearly like there's a bite mark around your shoulder. And the thing is a fairly big mouth, and it has those like nasty like pointed fangs. So there's like a couple of like pretty deep, pretty significant puncture wounds in your shoulder for sure.
Yes.
Cool.
If Oscar got a glance at either of those things, he would certainly recommend that they clean him out ex post haste. Like he.
Yeah, so
you're probably saying that at the same time I'm now dismantling my my Molotov.
Oh, okay.
My Molotov.
Oh, okay.
My Molotov on my shoulder.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
Pouring some alcohol. Great. Yeah. So I think Oscar, roll me a perception check real quick.
Sure. 1 sec.
I think there's something cool here.
I gotta make hotkeys for the skill checks.
Okay, a 6. I think it's enough.
Not
I think it's
great.
enough though. It wasn't a very hard one. It was a very difficult one. So when you see the wound on Fortune, you have an exemplary sense of smell that the others don't possess because your race communicates a lot in pheromones, and you can smell what can only be described as bile, kind of from Fortune's wound. And definitely, yeah, I think maybe that's the moment where you say, you should probably clean that out because it smells like infection, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Not
If
so
you
much
see
of
that-
Boomer's because it was more of a surface wound, but
Plus,
definitely
he,
Fortune's.
if I recall, Boomer took a swipe with
He
claws,
did.
not a bite. So
That is correct.
yeah, Oscar would maybe not explain how he knew that, but if so he would walk over, and if he was flushing it out with his improvised explosive,
His rubbing alcohol that he found.
yeah, so he'd say, that may not be enough. That's I do not trust the bite from these things.
Yeah, I
At
think
this point, Boomer is actually going to kind of move his way between them, take a look at it, and can I tech medical it?
sure. I think that
Can I tech medical it?
yeah, I think either
Maybe
I
you
think
can
guys
assist Margot.
right? Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to assist Margot.
Okay, so you roll first. If you roll an 8 or higher, you can have the +1. Add the +1, Go.
So-
And an 8
so
would
now
be your difficulty check as well, Go.
I'm sitting here with a bottle of alcohol half poured over my shoulder. Like, can I
Yeah.
doctor myself, please?
Right, yeah.
No, you have 3 people
Right, and they're like,
total-
here, let me see your shoulder, and they're like pulling you around, and like everybody's kind of like looking at your shoulder.
You are a piece of meat right now.
Yeah.
Sure. All right, Go. So you don't get an additional +1, but 8 is your target number for this roll.
So no assisted then.
Correct. He had to roll an 8 or higher to give you an assist. No.
I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
Somebody
so
just takes out like
What
a
is that?
cigarette and
Oh, the
pushes it into the wound.
what is that? Is that 2 ones? That totally is 2 ones, isn't it? Yeah. No. So I think like Boomer, you're like trying to like give Go advice, and Go's probably just like waving a hand in your face, right? Like, I got this, okay? And like she looks at it, and like Go, you look at it, and it looks kind of like you've seen a snake bite before, and you're like, yeah, I puncture wounds, there's no discoloration, so you should be fine.
She also realizes she still has her goggles on, but doesn't take them off. So,
Right? Yeah. It's
It's it's impeding her vision.
It's like, oh, I didn't know you were so white, Fortune. Yeah, totally. But yeah, no, you can't like determine beyond like what has already been stated anything additional about the wound. But I mean, you're going about it kind of the right way. Pour some disinfectant on it, patch it up. Probably will,
Because I do have Lazarus patches. If that
probably be
helps.
fine. It's more to get people up from dying. What you
but
really
right.
want probably is either like a medical stim or
Yeah.
something in a med kit might.
Well,
might
I have
help.
a med kit, FYI.
Okay.
Would that have given me assisted?
So you were rolling tech medical
recalling that
to
now.
observe it, correct? Because I will totally allow a tech medical check to actually like treat the injury, but you will, if you're trying to like treat any disease or heal any damage, you will use up the med kit, and it will be unable to be used again.
I mean,
Do
if
it.
it prevents it from being a werewolf, it's kind of important. I can buy another
Sure.
one.
Because I mean, if he turns, then I have to kill him.
Yeah,
then we have
let's
to use a
not-
las
I
patch.
mean,
Then we.
Come on.
Sure. Yeah.
All right.
you can-
So how do I do it this time then?
So when it's asked you for other bonuses, you'll add a +2. Fortune, you'll regain some health from this. In
Okay.
addition to, hopefully,
Does that-
if it succeeds, preventing any disease or infection that may
Ho-
occur.
hopefully not turn into a werewolf. Get it?
Sure.
Does
I
the
don't think
attribute
so.
change for the med kit, or is it?
It's still going to be intelligence.
Okay, that's what I thought. All right, just checking.
It just gives you an additional +2 on your tech med roll.
Let's see this highest roll.
Even if she rolls double ones again, it's going to be okay. An 8, cool, yeah. I think that's enough. Yeah, I think
Double
that.
twos though.
I think that like you look at it and you're like, man, that's rough. I don't really know what's going on. So like your knowledge of the situation is bad, but it's clear that you know how to treat an injury, right? So you're like, I'm just going to treat this like some other random thing that occurred.
You know, if the med kit is expended, maybe she's just like gotten no idea what to like.
Sure.
The best thing, so she uses everything in the kit.
That's
Right.
what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
She like get
So
out the iodine and the hydrogen peroxide and the
now
antivenom.
my-
It
and
takes
My
like an
arm
hour
is-
for no reason.
Right.
My arm
sure.
is in a splint and in a shoulder.
Right, and in a sling, and you're
Yeah.
like, but my arm is fine. I don't understand. She's molding a cast in the corner, like,
Yeah.
to,
I've probably got
It's
the
fine.
neck brace on, but it's around the shoulder.
right.
and-
Perfect.
She's turned the shopping cart into a wheelchair for you, and is like, yeah,
I'm being super thorough. It's
yeah. I think that's a great way to explain it, right?
you
You're
just
like,
got to cover all the bases.
right, yeah. You're like, I have no idea what's going on, aka I rolled a 4, and now, well, since I have no idea what's going on, we're just gonna try everything. That's exactly how it rolls, I think.
Here, take these vitamins while you're at it. What the fuck is this gonna do?
Right, yeah. Also, deja vu is a very weird thing. I just had a very bad experience of it. This exact moment, actually.
Well, that sounds great.
Yeah, don't worry. I don't think anyone died. Cool, yeah. So you successfully heal. And med kits, I believe I determined, are 2d6 additional health points. And
Well,
that's for
I'll
a
just go ahead
level
and-
4.
I'll just put a 1 because I'm gonna get 1 point. That's
Yeah,
all
you
my
only
health,
have 1
so,
health gone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So you regain the rest of your hit points. It should be noted, though, that 2d6 may seem like a lot, but it does not go up as you guys level, right? So, like, at higher levels, you're still only healing 2d6 with a med kit.
Yeah.
It
At
doesn't
like level
scale.
5, that could be a third of
Right, exactly.
Fortune's health.
Right, exactly. So it's definitely not broken at higher levels. But if you find some tech level 5 med kits, hey, maybe those do some more.
Or if we manufacture some.
Or yeah, if you figure out a way to manufacture some tech level 5 med kits, it's totally something.
Looking
we
at
can-
you, Boomer.
Right.
If I'm going to manufacture a med kit, it's going to include combat cocktails.
Exactly.
I thought they all come with those.
Yeah, for the pain, right? It's your your.
Yeah, boomers would only help with pain. Right, sure.
Absolutely. Cool. So again, the threat has passed. You guys are relatively safe now. And having defended the 3 individuals in the room, they I think that as you guys are like doing the whole doctoring thing, they probably like come out into the hallway and like you see a couple of them like stepping like very tentatively by the bodies of werewolf things that are inside of the hallways at this point. And like they're like looking at you, but they're standing like you get the impression they're waiting for instruction, right? Like they're kind of just waiting on you to do something or tell them to do something.
I'm actually going to go up to the hostess woman
yeah.
whose name I seriously have no idea.
I believe, did I say her name was Chang? Like it said H Chang on her name tag. She doesn't actually.
Yeah.
She's never actually given you her name.
Okay. I'm just going up and just kind of that very soft, slow motion, just Miss Chang. My friends and I, we're going to be leaving shortly. Would you and yours, and motioning to the entire group, would the 3 of you like to come with us?
Yeah, I think she looks at you and then she like looks at her compatriots because she's the one who speaks like actual English, right? And she has a very, very short, very rapid conversation in Cantonese. And Gogo, you pick up things like, the guy is like, or the doorman, the door kid, basically, is like, well, what do they say? And she's like, well, we can go with him, and blah, 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 blah. And they seem to be debating it, but at the same time, they seem extremely scared about leaving. Leaving apparently seems to be like a concern, and I think that after she also relays the information via the sign language to the cook, and she comes back to Boomer eventually after like maybe like a minute of idle like chit chat back and forth. She comes back to Boomer and she says, "Oh no, we will be fine here. Not first time, won't be last, but this is life we know."
I would like to be particularly charming and even persuasive about the 3 of them coming with us for their safety.
Okay, so you want to roll a persuasion check?
I do.
All right, it's going to be a particularly hard persuasion check, just an FYI, but it's possible. There are other factors at work here that you may not understand. Yeah, I think a 6 is not high enough, unfortunately. I think like you're being charming and persuasive, and like she probably at one point like gives you like kind of a sad smile, like, you know, I understand where you're coming from, but you don't quite understand, and I'm not really gonna explain it or can't really explain it. You kind of get like maybe that feel, and she's like, no.
Okay, I leave it at that.
Yeah,
I justify it as I put all forth best efforts.
Sure.
And they said no.
She's very much a fan of staying here. Like, even, and which, I mean, you can take that how you want, but in the face of, you know, insurmountable quote-unquote zombie attacks or werewolf attacks or whatever you want to call them, she's electing to stay here as opposed to a ride-off planet.
So do the other civilians basically follow suit?
Yeah, no, she actually seemed like the one that may have been the most like apt to the idea, but the other two are like most distinctly like they're actively like shaking their heads like, no, we can't leave. That's not something that we can do. It's not allowed.
Sure. I mean, well, Oscar would certainly overhear this.
Yeah, for sure.
And he'd say, well, I expect it's time for us to go then. Yes?
Yeah, and I think when you say that, the woman comes over to you, and she you know, takes out like a handkerchief and like wipes a piece of viscera off of your hand, and she grabs it and she looks at you and she says, "You'll not tell."
Tell whom what?
Her eyes like are darting to your pack with that folder that she gave you.
Yeah, I walk up behind Oscar at this point, and I go, "No one will learn where no one will know where we learned our information from."
Yeah. So Oscar wants to pursue that though, since he's still not sure if these people are clearly terrified. Even beyond, you know, the understandable here with the man-eating monsters, like he still doesn't understand what the big deal is. Like, so he would ask like, well, is it, ma'am, is this your government that you're worried about, or the others? Who are you afraid will learn of this?
She takes a moment and like she's already pretty much determined that you're the decider, so she's pretty open about it. It's not going to require like persuasion or anything like that. And I think she says
at this point, like just to be clear, like Oscar is trying to make good on not getting them in further trouble.
Correct. Yeah, because you want to, if you have to turn it over for any reason, you want to make sure you're not turning it over to the people who are going to come back and
So like answering this is in her best interest.
Yeah, no, and she understands that. And so like she thinks for a moment like maybe like how to say it. And she says a phrase in Cantonese, and it's Hong Se Kong Huang. Which Gogo, it translates perfectly. It's literally the same phrase in Cantonese as it is in a Mandarin. And she says the Red Scare is what she says. And she says that, and then she goes into English and she says, Hong Se Kong Hong is secret to all but our people. If outsiders knew, then our people would no longer get help. We would be cut off from the rest of everything. No more supplies would come in on ships. No one would want to come here. We would be dead.
I see. What about the ships? During the storm, there were ships.
She looks confused when you say that. She's like, I don't understand. Ships? I've never seen ships just... And she kind of like, her eyes like dart to one of the dead things on the ground. And then she comes back to the conversation.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if she... Yeah, he just I mean, Oscar probably just says that, like, never. Yeah, it's of no concern, and then he says, "Good luck to you."
Yeah, and she gives you like a very deep bow, which you know because you have some background on this planet. Like she's looking to you as a superior, and giving you the honorable thing. And then she quickly goes back over and she begins to usher the cook and the doorman back downstairs to observe the damage and hopefully fix anything that's going on.
Sure. When they leave, Oscar would just turn back to the group and say, like there definitely needs to be some sort of powwow right now.
Right, and this is the best place to do it because there's literally nobody for probably a couple city blocks.
So I expect that at some point that information was shared with the group. Who was it? Was it Gogo that noticed like the noise of the ships, or was it?
Yes.
Yeah, the second
Gogo identified the sound that it sounded like a grav engine, a very large grav engine.
Sure. So that if that's common knowledge at this point, then Oscar would just say, she seems to be indicating that this may even be a disease among her people. She obviously didn't explain it to me, but this may not be a weapon. This might be...
While we're having this powwow,
Yeah.
and this is being said, Boomer's actually going to go over towards the one of the carcasses and taking his empty engine grease flask. He's actually going to drain blood from the carcass into the flask.
Yeah, so I think that, and you've noticed this probably throughout the night, but now that the light is better, or I say the night, it wasn't actually nighttime. Throughout the storm, you notice this probably, but it's even more apparent when you are draining the blood, or now that like the light is shining in and Oscar's reflecting visibly. The blood from this creature is like bright red, like not like blood red, like a very very light shade, very fluorescent almost red color. Which kind of goes hand in hand with the name that they gave this quote unquote disease.
Interesting. Yeah, basically...
I'm also taking tissue samples, just for the record.
Sure, yeah.
Also in the flask.
Yeah. You guys hear the
flash, but
of rubber gloves being put on. This Boomer is dissecting this thing in the middle of a hotel hallway.
Yeah. Okay. Well, all Oscar wants to get across is basically to say, we do not have enough information to go on here. And just to say, we should probably wrap up our business with Natalia and cut our losses, so to speak.
Yep.
Margaret says, yeah, I'd like to not turn into one of those, and points over to Boomer dissecting the thing.
He's just dissecting the thing.
She grimaces and like dry heaves a little and like looks back.
His monoblade.
So would Oscar have noticed that Fortune's wound seemed to have been appropriately tended to?
You can still smell like the faint smell of like that bile, but that may just be the residual hanging out in the room.
Sure.
Like I think if you were to go like inspect the wound, it smells more medical. Like there's actually just a cornucopia of scents from the random
His
elements.
non-existent broken leg is perfect though.
Right. Yeah. Just it's. Yeah, you suspect
if it's
that
anything
like, it might
Fortune
be
needed, it's more sense.
As long as it gets rest and the wound doesn't reopen or any other like actual like other infections, right? That get in, like you can just get infected from other viral materials that come into contact with open wounds. As long as he takes care of it, yeah, he should be fine. You would know that.
Yeah, I mean, Oscar is just, I guess, packing things up.
Cool.